My name is Dr. Andrew Michaels, and I am here to help you. Yep. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday. I have something special for you. This is a big time request. I'll try and talk as softly as I can. I found a drive-thru in Akron, Ohio, kind of close to where I live. You know, within about 45 minutes, so it's still a drive. The 2:30 drive-in. 2:30 drive-thru has all the malt liquor you could ask for. Malt liquor heaven in the 40. In this case, the 42. Old English is in a plastic bottle now. And it's a 42 ounce chill bottle. These are so good. Now, it's been a long time since I tried to nail 42 ounces of Old English malt liquor, let alone 2, but that is the Edward Fortyhands challenge. They usually duct tape the beverages to your hands until you're done drinking them. Kind of forces you to finish them. There's no reason to tape my hands to these bad boys, because this is going to be over long before the glue dries. Baby. Plus, I like to crack them on camera. Man cracks his own beer. Labels out. It's been so long. Oh, that's so good. Brain freeze. Look at that. All that frost. Oh my gosh. That's some good malt liquor. Good American malt liquor. I did a video for GBASMR, basically just some editing, and the link is below. And then a few days ago, Anno ASMR did a tribute video, mentioned me, and I don't know how to repay them. There's so many kind people out there. GB was very gracious and very kind, let me work with her. Hope she tops 2 million subs soon. So you can help that happen by subscribing to her and helping her or Anno out. Anno ASMR, GB ASMR. Links are below. Great people. Generous, kind. Polite, respectful. I like them. I met a lot of nice people doing ASMR. I want you to know that. Very few turds in the punch bowl. I've always noticed the ones that cross me run around and flap their jaws and badmouth me on social media, I notice that their lives just go to complete shit. Their channels go downhill. Their real lives fall apart. And they fall into a general depression and malaise. A malaise. It's not good to be negative. You got to be positive out there, people. You got to care about your brothers and sisters out there. You got to take care of one another. There's no room for negativity in the ASMR community. The community will select you out. Yes, they will. I've seen it over and over again. I don't wish ill will on anyone, and I hope everybody has a good life. Even those that don't care for me. But we don't dwell on them very much, do we? What we do like to dwell on here is people like you and you who write wonderful comments. I got a wonderful comment from someone and they said, I love the new videos, but I like it when you have a sip of beer and you tell some old stories. And his comment is right below. See it? I like doing that. I like showing people's comments. Because you care about me and I care about you. And the only way I can express it is to make a home for you here. And making a home for you here is to accept you just as you are. All are welcome here. And I mean that. And I think you know that. And we've got to work together to make a better world. And if that means we sit around and hold hands, singing Kumbaya once in a while at the campfire, there's nothing wrong with that. Gotta look out for each other. And I mean that. When you see somebody in need, help them. Give them a hand. That might be you there someday. Gotta look out for each other because nobody else is, honey. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Hey, nobody cares about us but us. Oh, it's so cold it actually hurts. That's good. GB also mentioned she likes my videos where I ramble and have a beer. Maybe next time we do a video with her. I hope there's a next time. If we do a video with her next time, I hope it's a beer drinking video because I'd love to see all the kids above age knocking down a cup of cold malt liquors. I'd love to see that reaction video. Oh, TR, he thinks he's all that. Let me show you something. Ooh, that tastes like furniture polish. I'm not perfect. Oh, baby. That is some good shit. So anyway, I'm going to tell you some stories in honor of Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is in season 2 on YouTube. Cobra Kai is the sole reason, if any of you YouTube muckety mucks out there are listening, Cobra Kai is the only reason I bought YouTube Red or YouTube Premium, and I pay $9 a month or whatever it is to get ad free, and then I get to watch the special programming that they have. And I love it. I love using the ad-free Tingles app. It's wonderful. If you don't know about it, it's a phone app that lets you watch YouTube videos with no ads and your favorite artists. You can dim the screen and just watch the videos or listen to them, whatever, and they have a timer. You can turn it, So if you fall asleep, it'll turn off so you don't run your phone battery dead. It's got all kinds of great features. I support the Tingles app with my video work, and they support me by allowing you to make donations and a monthly support thing. And you do not have to do that. You can watch my videos for free, all of them for free on the Tingles app on your cell phone. But if you want to support the channel, which some people ask me, you can. Okay? And then I have this Teespring thing too, where I sell t-shirts, and I just started selling stickers. So there's some real cool Illuminati stickers out there. So you can join the Illuminati and help support the channel. And all the money from Teespring and the Tingles app goes to, and donations, any donations, goes to buying costumes, equipment, cameras, lighting, anything like that. I just went on a big spending splurge, spent probably a couple $100 on props, and these beers ain't cheap. I spent $20 on malt liquor tonight, and if you know anything about malt liquor, that's a lot of money. Oh, baby. Righteous. It's almost succulent how good it is. Tasty. That's for you, Anno. So, I'm going to tell you some stories. Now, at least 2 stories, possibly 3. And they're true. In honor of Cobra Kai, my favorite TV series right now. I watch 3 television series religiously. I watch Schitt's Creek. I actually buy it. I love Schitt's Creek with I forget the family that does it, but it's everybody's great in it. Chris Elliott's in it. I really like him. And I watch it with my family. The 3 shows I watch right now, my wife and my daughter watch with me. We sit down and we just love these TV shows. And one of them is Schitt's Creek. The other one is A Good Place. The Good Place. The Good Place with Ted Danson and that girl in it. I cannot remember her name. And we love The Good Place. We buy it, so we can binge watch it. You can watch some of it on Netflix, but we get it so that we can watch it anytime. So I love The Good Place, Schitt's Creek, and the third one I love. It's just finished its 2nd season. It's Cobra Kai, and it's basically the continuation of the Karate Kids movies with Ralph Macchio and the Zabanak guy who was in some of my favorite teen movies. He was in Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield and Robert Downey Jr. And I just love the Karate Kid movies. And it just got renewed for a 3rd season, so I'm really excited about that. So if you get a chance to get the YouTube Premium or whatever, believe it or not, I'm shilling for this YouTube product because I love Cobra Kai, and I want people to watch it so that they keep making them. At least make a 3rd season. Ow! Still recovering from some little things that happened to me. Oh. So anyway, story number 1. Believe it or not, I was a nerdy fringe kid in high school back in the 80s. And I was skinny. I ran cross country, believe it or not. Didn't have a lot of muscle on me, and I got pushed around by the older kids. Growing up in the 80s, in the school that I went to, was like going to the state penitentiary every day. When I graduated, I actually, the lady said, "How do you feel about graduating?" The lady that worked at the high school. I didn't like her. She was kind of rude to me. on graduation day, and I said, this is like getting out of the penitentiary. And I actually threw my cap and gown at her. She was real rude to me that day. I said, this is just like getting out of the penitentiary, and I never looked back. I hated school. I loved art class, English, science, history, and I could have been a really good student, but I was mediocre because I just didn't apply myself. I didn't care. I hated it. I didn't get support at home, and in fact, my father was horrible about, if you get a fight in school and I get a call from the office, I'm gonna whoop your ass when you come home. I'm gonna beat your ass. And I was so mortally terrified of him doing that. I would let kids just push me around in school, bully the hell out of me, because I was mortally terrified if my dad found out he was just gonna beat the hell out of me. And that wasn't the real right way to raise a kid, especially in the 80s when there was a lot of bullying and school violence going on. And I've always, tried to figure out, you thought you were doing a good job by telling me, if I get one phone call from the office, I'm going to really, he threatened me constantly. It was like school was just like something I had to endure. Well, believe it or not, I always tried to study martial arts, but I couldn't get it. About 10th grade, I met a kid who actually took martial arts in a local dojo that these police had, these local police in Canfield, Ohio. And it was Shotokan karate based, just like Karate Kid in the movie. And he actually, on the side was showing me some moves, kind of teaching me some stuff. And I was like, I gotta join this thing. So real discreetly, without my parents' knowledge, I went and joined a karate dojo. And back then it was $30 a month. And even that was a lot of money for me back then. I was working, but $30 was a lot of money for a kid, and my insurance and car payment. I didn't have a car payment, but saving up for a car every month, I didn't have a lot of money. Well, eventually my parents found out. I think I had to have them sign something for me or something. Or just one day I came home and said, I'm taking karate lessons and and they were furious. My father was furious. Did not want me learning karate. And I know why, because then he couldn't push me around anymore. And that stopped. Any kind of abusive behavior or stupidity out of my father stopped like that the minute I started taking karate classes. So that was the best $30 I ever spent in my entire life. And my father's still alive, and I have no shame talking about this, because he was a real miserable pain in the ass back then. Then he got hurt at work and got humbled a little bit, and he changed as a person. But back then he was pretty miserable to deal with, and I was pretty much fed up with him. So that was a good $30. So then I went to school, and it got out that I went to this karate class. I told one kid, I'm quitting cross country. I'm going to start taking karate lessons. I told one kid. First day at school, I sat down at the lunch table. So you're taking karate? Everybody knew. That kid didn't even eat lunch with me. I had to tell him because he was my ride to cross country, and I quit. So I said, I don't need a ride anymore. I'm quitting. Why are you quitting? He said, I said, because I'm going to take karate lessons. Everybody knew. So for the first 9 weeks, and my buddy at school who took karate with me told me the first semester, 9 weeks of school, whatever that is, first whatever, will be rough. But then after that, they'll leave you alone. But there's going to be some guys that test you to see if you actually know something. So, we went over that. Sure as hell, the first semester, there's a few guys that wanted to see how it worked out, if they could, get the best of me and say, karate doesn't work and it's stupid, whatever. I knew how to handle myself from what little training my friend in the dojo taught me. So I was able to handle these problems like that. Didn't even go to the office. Didn't get in trouble. And I was like, I didn't get in trouble. I knocked a couple guys around a little bit. I'm not getting picked on anymore. Everybody's leaving me alone. This is great. This is all I ever wanted, was just to be left alone. And he was right. After a while, nobody bothered me. And I had some friends I would go out with. Back then, you could go out to bars when you were 18 or less. That's a long story. So I'm like 16, 17, and I'd go to a bar or something with friends. And it wasn't legal, but... And I had this one friend that was always trying to get us in trouble. And I was like, oh my God. Well, eventually he picked a fight with a guy thinking we're all going to back him up, especially karate guy Mike. We didn't see him get into this altercation with a guy, and he got the living hell knocked out of him in the parking lot of this bar. And I laughed my ass off. And I said, that serves you right. Always trying to get us into a brouhaha at a bar. That's not why I go. I go to have a couple beers, a couple laughs, talk to some people, and go home. So if you have a friend like that, he's not much of a friend. He's trying to get you in trouble all the time. This one's almost done. So, standing up for yourself, taking self-defense classes and learning martial arts can help you live a more calm and peaceful life. The second story I'd like to tell you is, and I'm not making this up, I swear to God, there are people out there that can verify this story. I took karate with a kid named Bates. His name was Bates. I'm not making this up. And he had a higher belt than us. And he was younger. So we would all line up for class, and Sensei Bates would lead the class. And sometimes we would buck his authority a little bit, and he goes, he would get real mad, and he was kind of a little chubby kid, and not a kid, he was like 15, 16, and he didn't like getting pushed around, being disrespected. So one day he got real mad, and he says, all of you, I'm a higher belt, you have to listen to me. And someday I'm going to be a master of karate. And when I'm a master of karate, all of you are going to have to bow to me. He said, you're going to have to bow to me and call me Master Bates. You will bow your heads to Master Bates. And I never seen people fall out laughing so hard in my life. The class was over. Class was dismissed. That was the end of that class. What a face he had. If you could just see that. I mean, I can still see it in my eyes. Master Bates. He was kind of a jerk. Well, anyway, I passed him up in belts. He probably never became a master, so that's the way that goes. But anyway, Master Bates. Master Bates. So, true story. His sister was really hot, and I liked her. And he used to cause me all kinds of trouble, so I couldn't ask her out. So, that's the rest of that story. But he was probably a good kid. He annoyed me. It's kind of hard to take him seriously. So, let's see. That's a pretty good story. Do you like that story? And it's true. I'm not making that up. I won't say his first name. But if he ever hears this, he knows I'm telling the truth. So, second story. Second story I want to tell is really funny. Taking karate, and my dad, I come in the backyard, and my dad said, I don't want you taking karate. I want you to quit. I'm not quitting. So I didn't quit cross country. Tried to get me to quit. Tried to get me to quit track. I said I work 30, 40 hours a week. I'm doing my cross country. So I'm bringing home $150, $200 a week. I'm paying my own bills. I'll take karate. I'll take karate. I bought my own car. I'm paying my own car insurance. I'm not quitting. How's that sound? You know, I'm a grown man. I'm trying the best I can. Back off. Proud of myself. Okay, Mike thinks he's a big shot, huh? They call my cousin. I swear my parents called my cousin. He's 2 years older than me. We were over at his house. He goes, come on, let's go for a ride. I don't think nothing of it. Let's go for a ride. My brother was a lot younger. A little kid, kind of compared to me. We get in his car and we're driving down the road. He goes, you think you're pretty tough, huh? Learning karate and all this stuff, huh? And I'm like, no, not really. You know, let's not do this. I'm going to take you somewhere. Like, all right, whatever. Now, I've been taking karate for a while. I met some people. I've gone to a few tournaments. Back then, tournaments were big because of Karate Kid movies. I met some people from different places. He pulls up to this guy's house. I know this guy. I know this guy from a tournament. This guy's an angel. This guy is like a wonderful person from another dojo related to ours. He's a nice guy. He pulls up to this guy's house and says, this guy goes to school with me. He knows karate. He could kick your ass. He gets out of the car. He goes up to this guy's house. He goes, hey, I brought my cousin over here. He thinks he's a tough guy. My cousin over here, he thinks he knows karate. He needs a lesson. Why don't you kick his ass? I actually am sitting there in the car, looking at my cousin, standing on the stoop of this guy's house, the steps of his house, asking a guy that I know who's like a brown belt. I'm like a blue belt. Big difference. He's up there bad-mouthing me to get this guy to whoop the shit out of me in his driveway. I'm like, what the... I can't believe this is even happening to me. Well, he's like, you know, it's okay. Talk to you later. I don't want to say any names. He goes back inside like, I gotta go take a shit or something. You know, I'm busy. I don't have time to whoop your cousin's ass. You know, my mom's on her period and I gotta take the trash out and I stepped in dog shit. I gotta go. He makes all these excuses. He closes the door. My cousin comes back. I go, and I'm gonna be frank with you. He gets in the car. I go, my brother and I are sitting there. I'm looking at my brother. I look in the back seat of my brother. He's 3 years younger, so he's a lot younger. And I go, do you see what he's doing? My brother's like, I can't believe he's doing this. I go, ain't this some shit? Ain't this some shit? You're my family. You're doing this to me? He gets in the car. I go, what the fuck is the matter with you? I said, how would you like me to... So you're so worried about this karate thing. How about me and my brother here? We just beat the shit out of you. You freaking stupid ass hillbilly. He was kind of a hilljack. He lived in the city, but he was like, you know? I'm like, how would you like us to try some of that on you? Maybe we could figure out where you're at on this, you know? Maybe we could teach you a few things. He takes me back. I go to my parents. Like, we leave, you know. We go back to my aunt and uncle's house. And we're leaving, and I'm telling my parents, he took me to some Jamoke's house over in the south side of Camel, Ohio. He's the one to get my ass kicked. Oh, that's just him. He's just being silly. He didn't do that. He didn't mean it. I'm like, the hell he didn't. I thought, I got a problem with this guy. Me and him are not close. This is back in the 80s. We're not close to this day. Him. And the horse he rode in on. Oh, one down. One to go. Another town and one more show. Uptown, given away, but you never came back. Edward, Fortyhands. Labels out, babies. Oh, succulent. So I'm like telling my family, and they don't want to hear it. I'm like, all right, they're going to come a day for this boy. They're going to come a day. I'm gonna see this one through. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. A year or so goes by. I don't see my cousin very much. But funny that. I meet this nice girl. I meet the most beautiful, sweet, pretty little girl from Akron, Ohio. She turns around and she walks over to me and shakes my hand like a little lady. And I fall in love with her at first sight. And she's absolutely gorgeous. And she thinks I'm a piece of garbage. She thinks I'm just a hoodlum from the great city of Youngstown, Ohio. By our second date, we're necking in her dorm room. So, it has a happy ending. So, I meet this gorgeous girl. Her name is Chrissy. That's my wife's name. And we fall in love. This is 1989. She's a first-year student in Akron University, the college she graduates from. And I'm working my butt off at a job, and I'm seeing her on the weekends. My parents meet her and they're like, wow, this is a nice girl. What's she doing with you? Yeah. I take her to meet my parents, and my parents aren't home. True story. I take my future wife home for the first time to meet my family, and they're not home. They stand me up. They come home around the time they thought I would be leaving. They're still in their coats and hats, and they get to meet her for a few minutes before we leave. I'm not making this up. Believe me, I don't raise my kids this way. They meet her, and within minutes they're like, oh my God, she's wonderful. She is the sweetest, nicest little lady. She's a good girl. She's gorgeous. She's so nice. She's so polite. I'm like, yeah, that's why I wanted to bring her home to meet all of you sorry bastards. Let that sink in for a minute. The ASMR is strong right now. So, working my ass off. She's working her ass off. Summertime comes, and she comes over to visit, and I go in, and we're going to have a cookout. We're going to roast some hot dogs and marshmallows and have a little cookout in the backyard. And my mother goes, she's doing the dishes, and I'm sitting there, and she goes, Michael, I called your aunt and told her to tell your cousin, I'm not using his name, that you were coming over with Chrissy, your wife, or girlfriend. We weren't even engaged then. It's hard to think about it that way. It's like when I met her, we became a couple. So it's kind of weird talking about her as my girlfriend when you've been married for 30 years to a beautiful person. Yeah, 30 years this year. We're going to go to London, England in November to celebrate our 30th wedding anniversary, and I'm hoping to meet some of my friends there in London, and then I want to spend the day with Laura Minx 123, because I love Laura Minx 123 and her boyfriend Nathan and Mama Minx 123, Mama or Mummy 123, and Laura was there for me. Don't even want to go there. Laura's always been there for me. Good friend. I'm gonna start crying. And my wife loves Laura and her family. She thinks they're wonderful people. So that's what we're doing our 30th. But it's hard to think of her as a girlfriend. But in 1989, we were boyfriend and girlfriend. And I go in to get the hot dogs and the marshmallows and the s'mores and all that out of the refrigerator that I paid for. And we're going to have a cookout. And my mother tells me that she told my aunt that I've got a girlfriend and she's sending over my cousin. I remember stopping and looking at my mother and saying, "You did not tell him we're here. Why would you tell him I brought Chrissy here?" She's like, "Well, he needs I'm leaving his name out. He needs a girlfriend. He doesn't have a girlfriend. You could help him find a girlfriend. He's coming over here because you have a girlfriend. If you have a girlfriend, he deserves a girlfriend." I'm like, what planet are you on? You're my mother. Why would you ever expose her to that idiot? Why would you do that to me? I stood there with a pack of hot dogs in my hand, and I wanted to commit Harry Carey right there all over their brand new fucking carpet that they couldn't stop bitching about if you put one mark in it. You gotta be kidding me, people. Okay, so I go out in the backyard, we start a fire, and asshole the world, my cousin shows up. And sure as shit, my parents lure me into the house so he can talk to her one-on-one. And I'm not making this up. And there are people out there, there are human beings out there that will say I'm making this up. I'm not making this up. This low-life son of a bitch starts hitting on my girlfriend, my future wife. "Yeah, I've been around. I can go where you live. Where do you live? Where exactly do you live? Yeah, I drive out that way sometimes. Where exactly? I could come out. Maybe I'll come out and see you sometime." I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I go in the house with my parents and I go, we're going to talk about this. My dad's on disability at this time and he needs my income. I can't move out until he gets his workers' comp and gets his medical stuff straightened out. I look right at my old man and my mother and I go, "We're going to straighten this out. We're going to have a little talk about this. We're going to talk about this. I'm going to go out there and fix it with asshole the world there. But when I'm done with him, I'm going to talk to you people right here. This ain't happening no more." Now, whether you believe that conversation happened or not, I don't care. People watch Dallas. People watch the Thornbirds. People watch these the Game of Thrones. Talk about dysfunctional families. You ain't got nothing on mine. Best thing I ever found in my life was my little wifey. And everybody and their brother tried to ruin it for me. I didn't have to worry about strangers. I had to worry about my own family screwing it up for me. Because doesn't your cousin deserve a girlfriend too? whatever. So, just in case you ask, he wasn't in my wedding party. But I did invite him just to keep the peace. So I go out there and he's got a hot dog in his hand that I paid for. And he's plowing it, hot dogs down his gullet. And he's plowing down all my food that I paid for. And he's telling my girlfriend that I brought there that I'm dating. And he's going, yeah, maybe I'll come out and see you sometime. Maybe you can fix me up with one of your friends. I'm like, you got, and she's like, she's being real diplomatic because she doesn't understand my family is totally fucked up at this point in her life. She came from kind of a fucked up family, so mine was actually a step up in some regards from hers. Hers was more maniacal in different ways. So she just was trying to be nice. Yeah, I'll fix you up with one of my friends. Isn't that be nice? We'll fix your cousin up with one of my friends. And I went with it. I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to fix you up. I'm going to fix you. I'm going to fix you up. All right. Yeah, boy. Come back in a week. I'm going to fix you up. And what I should have done was beat the living tar shit out of them. But I didn't. No. What I did was I said, sure, we'll fix you up with a date. Stay by the phone because we're going to call soon about your date. And then when we got away from my family, I said, whatever you said you were going to do with that moron ain't going to happen. Don't worry about it. Just put it out of your mind. Put it out of your pretty little mind. You don't have to do anything. I'll take care of it. Needless to say, he didn't get a date. So anyway, 1 week went by, and this dumb son of a bitch that was related to me comes to my house. I'm watching TV, and I'm laying on the couch. I worked 10 hours. 10 hours I worked. I'm laying on the couch trying to watch TV, and this guy comes busting into my house where I live with my parents. My mother says, Michael's in the living room. He's in there laying on the couch. He comes in and says, hey, I was waiting for this phone call for a date, and I never got the phone call, so what's going on? Do I have to call Chris, your girlfriend, myself, and get this set up? I looked right at him, and I sat up, and I turned the TV off. I said, I made sure my mom could hear me. I said, let me explain something to you here, soldier. The war's over. You lost. You're not going on no date. You're not going anywhere. You're never talking to my girlfriend again. You ever go near my girlfriend again, and I'm going to do things to you that are probably criminal in most states. Do I make myself clear? And I don't give a shit what your mother, my mother, or anybody else cocks up in their fucking stupid brain. You're not going on any date with me and my girlfriend, ever. Do you understand me, soldier? You are discharged. Go home. Go fuck yourself. That's the truth. As fate would have it, he got in a wreck like a couple weeks later. He left, by the way. He just, Mike yelled at me. He's a jerk. And everybody thought Mike was a jerk. And Mike was happy. Everybody thought he was a jerk. And there was much rejoicing. And Mike married the girl and had 3 wonderful children. One of which was a valedictorian at Salem High School. And the other 2 are so wildly talented, he couldn't be more proud of them. I have three college graduates under my belt that I paid for. I don't have to answer to anyone. I don't have to listen to anyone. I pay my own way. Mike always pays his own way. And his family's been to Cedar Point, Jogga Lake, Kings Island, Disney World so many times, they don't want to go no more. I took my family down to that House of Mouse so many times, they don't even want to go no more. They're like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't have to answer to anyone. And I did it all with this back right here. So I'm going to pat myself on the back. So my cousin, my parents, anybody else that doesn't like it, they can kiss my big old fat white ass. Is that racist if I say white ass? I don't care. So, all that being said, my cousin never went on a double date with me and my girlfriend at the time. Just to let you know. So, let's see. I told you about my karate experiences. I told you about my dumbass cousin. I didn't tell you about the story where I took him to a hayride and he put his car in a ditch. Oh my God. I'll save that one for another day. And, this dumb son of a bitch. I couldn't stand this cousin of mine. But anyway, long story short, he got in a wreck. He calls me up and he's like, tell your girlfriend to give me a call at the hospital. I'm trying to recover here. Mommy, hand me a drink of water. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to tell my girlfriend to call you at the hospital. That's going to happen. Yeah. Stay by the phone. She'll call real soon. Oh, man. Needless to say, me and him didn't keep in touch very closely. That's some good malt liquor. Almost gone. So anyway, forget where I was at. We're going to flash forward. All this karate training and everything you want to know about. Well, did you ever use it? Well, one time there was this mongrel. And this is for a lot of you young men out there who are afraid to be who you are because society tells you that you can't be a man, that they'll put you in jail, they'll charge you with crimes and all this bullshit. Let an old man tell you how it works. There was this guy, and he kept saying things about my wife online. I was running a website, and he didn't like how I was running it. So he decided he was going to start shooting his mouth off. And he never said a bad word about me. He always attacked my wife. And I couldn't understand that until I realized that 99.999% of all of the fucking cowards on the internet are wimps and pussies. And that computer screen and the distance between them and you makes them bigger. See? You're much bigger than them at a distance. So this little pissant thought that he was safe in saying bad things about my wonderful wife and mother of 3 beautiful children. He was quite rude, and he was married himself with an adult daughter that went to college, and I never said anything about his wife and daughter, but I would tell him, you really should leave my wife out of these conversations because you're a complete dumbass, and something horrible is about to happen to you if you keep talking about my wife in this manner. But he didn't listen because he was smarter than everybody else in the entire world. Smarter than Stephen Hawking, Einstein, every flat earther, every globe denier in the world. This man was smarter than all of them. Because stupid old TirarADeguello, that dumbass, is never going to do anything about me because he's all words and no action. But what he didn't know was he advertised that he was going to go to a science fiction convention. And I'm not poor, I work for a living. So I bought a couple tickets for said convention. Because that's what you do in life. You find out somebody's going to a sci-fi convention an hour or so from your house, and they sell tickets to the public. So I bought a couple tickets. This story really gets good. All you people out there watch my videos better quit bitching about me telling stories because I told a lot tonight. This is a good one. So I go to this convention, and the lady who was in Die Pussycat Die, she had the most bodacious bosom in the world. She's sitting there at a table with a security guy, and this shit for brains walks up. He doesn't see me coming. And I got news for you. In the real world, no, we're not talking about Cobra Kai, or we're not talking about Karate Kid bullshit. God damn. This video has gone so long that my battery failed, so I had to put a dummy battery in. I gotta recharge this one. Where was I? So, I was at the sci-fi convention. I'm standing there about 10 feet away from the girl who did Die Pussycat Die. She's bodaciously big lady. God bless America. That's what we were fighting for. That woman was something to see. And he walks up to get her autograph or something, or I don't know what he wanted because he's a moron. There, standing in front of that woman, right in front of security, is the guy. I went to the convention, and there's the guy that was making fun of my wife. Now, in the real world, you're supposed to go, hey, dude, let's go outside, and we're going to fight. And you put your dukes up, and you have a big Rocky Balboa moment. Well, this is Cleveland, Ohio, motherfucker, and we ain't in no Rocky movie. I see him, and I zone in. Now, just to let you boys and girls know, my wife is down the aisle with this idiot's best friend, and my wife are talking. My wife saw the whole thing. She saw her man take somebody down. I'm sexy and I know it. I go up behind him and I do a karate move. Like Ralph Macchio on steroids. And I kick him in the ass. I spread his ass cheeks with my knee. And I take my arm and I clock him across the shoulder blades at an angle that literally disabilitates his upper body. So I literally split him in half at the ass and shoulders and almost knock the entire table completely over. I hit him from behind. I cold cock him. I hit him from out of nowhere. You call it whatever you want. Cheap shot, whatever. You talked about my wife. I found you. I found you. I knocked the living daylights out of this piece of shit. Right in front of this actress. I spin move around, and he looks behind himself to where the attack came, and I'm in front of him. And he says, this is really good. I mean, I'm really acting right now. He's looking away from me, and I go, hey, how do you like me now? Got anything to say about my wife now? Do you want to act that tough guy stuff now? And I reach out, and I turn him around, and I go, how do you like me now? Do you have anything to say to me? And he goes, he stutters. This is the best part. He stutters. He sounds like a Yosemite, not Yosemite Sam, what is it, Elmer Fudd. He goes, I do have something to say to you. And I go, oh, really? Well, then say it, big boy. And he says, I'm not making fun of people who stutter. He's just like ready to have a coronary here. So, lighten up. This is my story, not yours. And he says, I do have something to say to you. I go, well, go say it then. Spit it out, moron. And he goes, fuck you. And he runs away. He runs away. My wife saw the whole thing. I go, you keep running. You can run all the way to the ocean, motherfucker. I ain't quitting on you. You keep your mouth shut about my wife. And you know what? He did. That's the secret. Ready? Shh, shh, shh. You know what? And the moral of the story is he never talked about my wife again. The end. Shh. Don't tell him. He might think I'm making fun of him. I hit him so hard his wife and kids felt it. I'm not proud of that moment, but I figure you guys would like a good story. So there's your story. Old TR hit that guy so hard he didn't even know what happened. He was looking the wrong way. Well, anyway, the rest of the story is I'm standing there, and I hit him in a crowded sci-fi convention. And I know none of you will believe me, but I did a perfect karate move. Nobody even saw I did it. And I knocked the shit out of him. And he was like, he had marbles rolling around his head. So he runs away like a little pussy that he is, and never to be seen again, because that's the way that guys like him operate. So then the security guy there beside the woman, who was the actress that was bodacious from Run Pussycat Run, or whatever the hell the name of that movie was. I love that movie. He goes, Mike, he goes, don't do this. Don't do this, Mike, this is not cool, Mike. It's not cool. And I go, it ain't cool, huh? He ain't talking about your wife now. He ain't talking about your old lady. Ain't cool, but he ain't talking about your old lady. See, guys? Listen to an old timer here. Everybody says it ain't cool, but he ain't talking about your old lady. Right? He goes, I understand that, but he carries a bag of nickels with him. I go, bag of nickels? Bag of nickels? That boy better carry a 44 mag if he's going to stop this soldier. Bag of nickels? Hallelujah. If that's all he carries, I'm going to really whoop his ass next time. That's exactly what I said. Bag of nickels? Next time, I'm going to really whoop his ass if that's all he brought to the fight. That's the exact words I said. You remember that, young man. Bring a bag of nickels. He should have brought a 44. Might have stood a better chance. That actress that was in Run Pussycat Run, or whatever the name of that movie was, she looked right at me and she goes, oh. And you can say I am a lying sack of shit. You could say, TR, you a lying sack of shit. She looked right at me and she put her hand right over her bosom and she went, "Ooh, that's a real man right there. That's a real man right there." And I go, "Don't worry, baby. I go all night long." Hell, that's why I've been married for 30 years. Boom, shaka bow bow, shaka bow bow. And that, soldiers, is how TirarADeguello does Edward Fortyhands. It don't take that long. You got a lot of stories in between. Labels out, my brothers and sisters. Labels out. That's the way. I like it. And the moral of the story is, I hit that guy right in front of his childhood idols, his movie star idols, and he ran away. And I stood there and laughed at him and went about my business. And my wife watched it and said, "Oh, Mike, you're so sexy." But that, my children, is another story. I'm just happy I got to be here with you. I'm happy Anno ASMR, GB ASMR, took the time to respect an old man. Much respect. The reason ASMR works and the reason ASMR is a good community is because we don't forget where we came from. Just as Anno ASMR and GB ASMR help an old man like me out of respect. I have helped many artists myself. You don't do it for reward. You don't do it for pats on the back. You do it because it's the right thing to do. When you see somebody struggling and working hard, you help them up. You help them up the ladder. Sure, I'd like to be a bigger artist than I am, but I'm happy where I am. I'm happy with all of you who take the time to care about me, care about what I do, and laugh at my silly ass videos. We ain't tapping on no pickle jar for 30 minutes here, boys and girls. Here, Tirar takes the time to teach you a lesson, share his life, and give you hope. I know it's silly, and I know it's stupid, and I know it's naivety to say I love all of you. With all my heart. But I do. I wish I could live 1,000 lives to help all of you individually. I wish I could be there for all of you 1,000 times over to help you. only have one life to live, and I must live it to the best of my ability. And I must give all that I have to my family. You must understand that. That doesn't change things. I still love you. In my heart. In my mind. In my soul. I love all of you. I love all of you. And you're good people. And you could be a good person. Don't let others put you down. Don't let others dictate terms on what makes you good or bad. Remember, Tirar lived his own life. You can live your own life too. Do you hear me? You can live your own life. You do not have to answer to anyone. And whether you think that's a lesson learned or a lesson given, I'm still looking at you. You out there. Be the best person you can be. Live your life. You have the right. Whether I had the right or not, I took it. I took my life. And I lived it. And whether you believe it or not, old man TR, maybe someday you'll understand. Maybe someday you'll understand. I don't answer to anybody. You know who respects that and likes that the most? My wife and kids. Because through me, they don't have to answer to anyone. And you shouldn't answer to anyone either. I love you in my heart. And I want you to have freedom. I want you to have liberty. And I want you to have a good life. And to do those three things, be like old Tor. Be like the old man. And you don't answer to anybody. Can you hear me? You don't have to answer to anybody. But right here, in your heart. And I'm not wrong. To be blessed is to bless. Bless you. Bless you, my children. My children that I connect to right now. I have lived my life with ample amounts of fear and dread, but I have always stood against my enemies, those that would control me. And you can too. We throw love. We throw hope around a lot. But the other day I talked to Chrissy and she said, I don't know how you do it. You keep fighting. You keep trying. You keep going forward. You keep working hard and trying to make friends and go places. You never give up, Michael. You never give up. I love you, Michael. My Chrissy said that to me. My Chrissy, after 30 years. Of all the times she told me she loved me, she said, I love you because you never give up. You keep trying. You keep banging your head against the wall. You keep trying. You make new friends. I highly doubt GB ASMR is still watching, or Anno ASMR, or any other of my friends. But she noticed they care. And she said, you keep trying. You keep reaching out. Everybody else would quit, Mike, but you don't quit. She didn't know how frustrating this is, but she landed feet first on my chest and reminded me why I do this. I don't do this for me. I've won my battles. I do this for you. I do this for you. I've won all my battles. All I have to do is see my daughter through. I've lived a good life. But I'm not done teaching yet. In all that, I am here for you. And you know who I'm talking to. Both artist and viewer alike. My SD card, as big as it is, filled up. What you're hearing now is just the audio only end of the video. I never gave up on you because you never gave up on me. It's a yin and yang relationship, but it's also more than that. It's mentor and student. If you ever fought for your own freedom, for your own rights, you were drawn to me. You were drawn to the one who came before you. And I have a lesson to impart. That you're not wrong for asking for freedom. That you're not wrong for asking for resolution. to free yourself from the chains that bind you, that limit you, that control you. If anything, the stories I told today free you from that. Free you from that. I said it earlier that the words love and hope are tossed around too often. But in reality, we don't toss them around enough. In real life, in reality, we need to speak of love. We need to speak of hope at all times. You have a right to it. Your lineage, your birthright. You deserve peace. And I have hope for you in my heart. Reach out. My sons, my daughters, reach out. Never give up. Never quit. The ones that quit give up. The ones who fight, they fear us. They fear those of us who fight back. This is not rocket science. This is reality. And in reality, through the haze of Edward Fortyhands, labels out and all, you must see that they fear those of us who are willing to lean in and tell the microphone we're fighting back. I'm tired of your crap, and I'm fighting back. And I want you to be one of those. I want you to be strong. I give you hope, but in my heart, I give you love. Bowing my head to the microphone, I give you love. My name is Dr. Andrew Michaels, and on my worst day, my friend, I am your best friend. On my worst day, your enemy fears me the most. On my worst day, I make your enemies fear me most, because I speak the truth to you. Stand up to your oppressor. Stand up to those who would stand against you, and find hope. Fight back. And know that Dr. Andrew Michaels loves you. until I see all of you again, God bless you. God bless you. And have a most blessed day.